Welcome to Ageless Living Secret, where growing older doesn't mean growing weaker. Here we believe something radical, that your best years might not be behind you, they might be ahead. That your energy, your joy, your sharp mind, your sense of purpose can all flourish in your 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. Because aging isn't a decline, it's a different kind of rise. On this channel, we bring you stories, science, and soulful strategies to help you live your life to the fullest, no matter how many candles are on the cake. You'll find practical wellness advice backed by research, long-form, relaxing videos designed to guide, not rush, solutions for sleep, movement, nutrition, memory, and more. Gentle, uplifting motivation to reconnect with your body and your spirit. But more than tips and tricks, we share a mindset. That it's never too late to become who you might have been. That you don't have to just manage aging, you can thrive through it. That your body may change, but your value, your voice, and your vitality are timeless. So, if you're ready to wake up feeling stronger, clearer, more you're in the right place. Click subscribe, settle in, and remember, aging is not an ending, it's a beautiful beginning. This is Ageless Living Secret. Section 1. The Aging Brain and Broken Sleep Cycles. As we grow older, something curious begins to happen at night. We still go to bed, we still turn off the lights. But sleep, true, healing, uninterrupted sleep, starts slipping away from us, like a dream we can't quite remember. You see, when we were young, falling asleep was like flipping a switch. Close your eyes, and before you knew it, morning had arrived. But now, for many in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, sleep becomes a puzzle with a few missing pieces. And that's no accident. Science has shown us that aging changes the very architecture of sleep. And it starts with one tiny but powerful chemical, melatonin. Melatonin is your body's natural sleep signal. It's like a conductor for the symphony that happens in your brain each night. But after the age of 55, melatonin production begins to decline. Not drastically at first, but enough to matter. And for some, it continues to drop steadily year after year. This means it takes longer to fall asleep. The sleep we get becomes lighter, more fragmented. We might wake up multiple times, not always fully conscious, but enough to disrupt the deep rest our bodies need. And this is where sleep cycles come in. The phases we rotate through during the night: light sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep, each with its role. Deep sleep is when the body repairs itself, rebuilding tissue, boosting the immune system, and flushing out toxins from the brain. REM sleep is when the mind reboots, processes memories, and dreams. But here's the catch. Older adults tend to spend less time in these vital stages. In fact, some research suggests that people over 65 get 75% less deep sleep than those in their 20s. 75% less. And if you're waking up feeling like your brain is foggy, your muscles weak, and your motivation low, this might be why. And even more troubling is the phenomenon called micro-awakenings. These are brief, often unnoticed moments where your brain stirs just enough to exit a deep sleep stage and enter light sleep again. You might not open your eyes or even move, but your brain knows. Imagine trying to clean an entire house while someone keeps switching the lights on and off every 15 minutes. That's what's happening in your brain every single night. You may lie down for 8 hours, you may even be unconscious for most of them. But if your brain never gets enough time in deep or REM stages, you will wake up tired every single time. And it's not your fault. It's not laziness or weakness or just what happens when you're old. It's biology, and it's fixable. Now, let's not forget one more key player, the hypothalamus, a part of the brain that helps regulate sleep through the body's internal clock or circadian rhythm. As we age, the signals this clock sends can get weaker, slower, or out of sync. Light and darkness don't trigger melatonin the same way they used to. Cortisol, the hormone that helps us feel alert, might rise at the wrong time. You may find yourself sleepy at 7 p.m. and wide awake at 3 in the morning. And once that rhythm gets thrown off, it's like trying to dance to a song that keeps skipping beats. Your body doesn't know when to rest and when to rise. And so, it stays confused, drained, and constantly behind. That's the reality many seniors face. But it doesn't have to stay that way. In the next section, we'll explore how seemingly small things, what you drink, eat, and when you take your medications, might quietly sabotage your sleep, and how changing them might just change everything.
Section 2. The hidden role of hydration, diet, and medication. What if I told you that the way you feel in the morning has less to do with your sleep itself and more to do with what you put in your body the day before? That's right. Sleep doesn't start the moment your head hits the pillow. It begins hours earlier with what you drink, what you eat, and which pills you take. Let's start with hydration. Many older adults, understandably, cut back on water in the evenings to avoid frequent nighttime trips to the bathroom. Nobody wants to shuffle through the dark at 2 a.m. But there's a quiet cost. Even mild dehydration, we're talking as little as 1 to 2% water loss in the body, can lead to fatigue, confusion, muscle cramps, and poor sleep recovery. Your blood thickens, your circulation slows, your brain doesn't clean itself efficiently. That one extra glass of water before dinner could be the difference between a sluggish morning and a vibrant one. Now let's talk food. The body needs a balance of nutrients, especially at dinner, to transition gently into restful sleep. Heavy, greasy meals eaten too close to bedtime, they activate digestion, heat the core body temperature, and can cause acid reflux that disrupt your sleep cycles. Even worse is sugar. A sweet dessert or even fruit eaten late in the evening can spike your blood glucose, giving you energy when you need calm, then crash you hours later and wake you up, heart pounding and mind racing. What's ideal instead? A small, light dinner with lean protein, vegetables, and healthy fats. Maybe a cup of chamomile tea. Nothing that forces your body to work while it should be winding down. And now, perhaps the most underestimated culprit: medications. At least 80% of adults over 65 are taking one or more prescription drugs daily. Some are necessary, yes, but many of them have hidden effects on your sleep. Beta blockers for blood pressure can reduce melatonin. Diuretics make you wake up to urinate. Corticosteroids can raise nighttime cortisol and disrupt deep sleep. Even some antidepressants alter REM sleep patterns. And then there, of course, are sleeping pills themselves, the ultimate paradox. They may knock you out, but not in the way nature intended. Many sedatives suppress REM and deep sleep, leaving you unconscious but not truly rested. You may not dream, you may not cycle, you may even wake up feeling more groggy than before. Instead of restoring your body, these medications often put your sleep on pause, not play. So what can you do? Start small. Hydrate throughout the day, not just at night. Eat your final meal at least 2 to 3 hours before bed. Avoid sugar and caffeine after 3 p.m. Review your medications with a sleep-aware doctor or pharmacist. You may be surprised how much better you feel in the morning with just a few mindful adjustments. Your body isn't working against you. It's working with what you give it. And when you give it what it needs, water, balance, peace, it will give you back something priceless, rest that actually restores.
Section 3. Your body clock is broken, and the fix is free. Let's imagine your body as a symphony orchestra, and the conductor is light. Every single cell in your body has its own clock, called a circadian rhythm. These internal clocks control everything from hormone production to digestion, from mood to metabolism. But they don't run on batteries, they run on light. Bright morning light in particular is like a signal from the sun saying it's time to be awake. But here's the problem. Most older adults, especially retirees, no longer step outside early in the day. We wake up, stay indoors, pull the blinds, and live under soft yellow bulbs or harsh blue screens. The brain doesn't know what time it is anymore. It delays melatonin release at night and increases it in the morning, the reverse of what we want. This leads to waking up too early, falling asleep too late, or feeling drowsy all day long. This confusion is called circadian disruption, and it is one of the most underdiagnosed causes of chronic fatigue in seniors. The solution? Morning light. Just 20 to 30 minutes of sunlight exposure between 7 and 10 a.m., whether through a walk, gardening, or simply sitting by a window with no sunglasses, can help your brain reset its master clock. It boosts serotonin levels, making you feel good during the day, and leads to better melatonin production at night. It's free, it's natural, and it's backed by science. But the healing doesn't stop there. Avoiding bright artificial light after sunset is just as important. Blue light from phones, TVs, and tablets tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Try using warm, dim lights in the evening. Use blue light blocking glasses if needed. You don't need to become a caveman, but honoring the sun's rhythm might just return rhythm to your own. Section 4. 7 reasons you still wake up tired. Sometimes we think we've done everything right. We go to bed at a decent hour, we stay in bed for 8 hours. We even avoid the late-night news or that second cup of coffee after dinner. And yet, morning arrives and we feel like we've barely slept at all. Our eyes open, but our body stays heavy. Our breath shallow. Our energy gone. It's frustrating, isn't it? And the worst part is, you start questioning yourself. Am I just getting old? Is this how it's supposed to be? But the truth is far more hopeful, because what's making you tired isn't always about how long you sleep. It's about what's happening while you sleep. And often, there are invisible forces at play, quietly stealing your rest, while you lie there unaware. For many older adults, the first thief is something we never see coming: shallow sleep. You might not even realize it's happening, but even though your eyes are closed and you haven't moved in hours, your brain isn't sinking deep enough into the stages where real healing takes place. You're drifting, but not diving. Light sleep is like a quiet hallway. Deep sleep is the sanctuary at the end of it, but some of us never quite make it there anymore.
And then there are those little moments when you wake up just enough to roll over or shift your pillow and fall back asleep. You may not even remember it, but your brain does. These tiny interruptions add up, breaking the rhythm of your rest like static in a beautiful piece of music. Other times, it's your body sounding an alarm you don't recognize. Maybe it's your breathing, subtly disrupted by a tightening throat or shallow airflow. Not loud enough to wake the house, but enough to jolt your brain back into alertness dozens of times a night. Sleep apnea doesn't always mean snoring. Sometimes it's silent, and that silence can be just as dangerous. Then there's what you ate the night before. That innocent-looking cookie or sweet piece of fruit after dinner, it might have given you a brief wave of comfort, but once your blood sugar crashed a few hours later, your body reacted like it was in crisis, heart racing, adrenaline rising. You woke up, stared at the ceiling, unsure why, but the cause started at the table. And what about your medications, the ones that help your blood pressure, your mood, your joints? Many of them, often prescribed with good intentions, quietly tinker with your body's natural rhythms. Some delay REM sleep, others trigger nighttime urination. Some even blunt melatonin altogether. You don't feel these changes directly, but you live their effects every morning. Of course, we can't forget movement, or the lack of it. When our days become still, our bodies forget the difference between day and night. Without movement, without exertion, without light, our systems grow dull, and sleep loses its anchor. Your body can't rest well if it hasn't lived well that day. And then, finally, there's the weight we carry in silence. Worries, regrets, loneliness, the quiet grief that settles over us like dust. You don't need a dramatic crisis to feel drained. Sometimes it's just the slow pull of the world, the unanswered questions, the fears we pretend not to feel. And when we carry those things into bed, our bodies may lie still, but our spirits do not. All of these forces, some physical, some emotional, swirl beneath the surface of a seemingly simple night's sleep. And when we wake up tired, it's not because we're broken, it's because our rest was interrupted from within. But there is hope in this realization, because what can be interrupted can also be restored. And that's what we'll do next, step by step. In the next section, I'll guide you through a gentle, powerful 7-step morning ritual created especially for seniors to reset your rhythm, rebuild your energy, and help you wake up not just awake, but alive again.
Section 5. The 7-Step Morning Reset for Seniors. Mornings have a quiet kind of magic. They hold promise, they hold potential, and for many of us, they hold exhaustion. But what if I told you that how you begin your morning might be the most powerful tool you have, not just to feel better during the day, but to sleep better at night? Because it's true. Your morning sets your rhythm, it sets the tone, and most importantly, it sets the clock inside you that decides when you feel alert and when your body should rest. So let's slow it down. Let's walk together, gently, through a new kind of morning. One that honors your age, your body, and your desire to feel alive again. It starts when you wake up, maybe still a little foggy, a little stiff, but instead of reaching for your phone or rushing to the coffee pot, start with something so simple it's easy to forget. Water. A full glass of room temperature water right by your bed. Before coffee, before anything. Because overnight, your body is dried out. Your cells are thirsty. Your brain especially needs hydration before stimulation. And with just a glass or two, it's like flipping on the lights in a darkened house. Everything starts moving again. Then, once you sat up, maybe stretched your arms a bit, step into the light. Literally. Open a window, step outside, let the sun touch your skin. This isn't about fresh air, though that's nice too. This is biological. Your brain, the master clock in your hypothalamus, needs morning light to reset. Not just any light, natural light. 15 to 30 minutes is enough. And no, sunglasses won't help here. You need that brightness to hit your eyes safely, indirectly. So sit by a window, take a walk around the block, water the plants. It's one of the most important things you can do to reset your sleep, and it doesn't cost a thing. Now, as the body begins to stir, give it nourishment that supports energy, not sabotages it. Skip the donuts, set aside the white toast. Instead, reach for simple protein, an egg, Greek yogurt, a spoonful of nut butter. Add some fiber, berries, oats, or avocado. This stabilizes your blood sugar, feeds your brain, and prevents that late morning crash that makes you reach for coffee number 3. And then move, gently, kindly, intentionally. This doesn't have to mean sneakers and sweat. It can mean 10 minutes of Tai Chi, a slow walk with the dog, gentle stretches in the sunlight, even raising your arms above your head and breathing deeply into your ribs. What matters is signal, telling your body the day has begun. Because when you move early, your body starts building sleep pressure for later. That pressure is like a rising tide, and by nightfall, it will help you sleep deeper and longer. Later in the day, there's one more thing you can do, or rather, not do. When the sun begins to set, dim your world with it. Turn off the overheads, put away the screens. Let the last hour before bed become soft and simple. Read, listen to music, take a warm bath, breathe. Because your body doesn't need a sleep aid, it needs a signal. And in a world of noise and brightness and stimulation, silence and dimness are the best signals you can give. This is your rhythm. This is your gentle return to balance. Water, light, movement, food, stillness, darkness. One flows into the next. No pressure, no perfection. Just a quiet commitment to beginning each day with kindness. Because how you start changes how you rest, and how you rest changes how you live.
Section 6. A real story from burnt out to reborn at 72. Let me tell you a story. A story not from a textbook or a research paper, but from real life. A quiet, powerful reminder that change is possible, even and especially when we think it's too late. Her name is Margaret. At 72 years old, she was what most would call retired, but in her heart, she still felt busy, overwhelmed, actually. Not with work, but with fatigue, a kind of exhaustion that didn't make sense. She was sleeping 8 to 9 hours every night. She went to bed early. She took her calcium. She even kept a lavender spray by her pillow, just in case it helped her drift off. But every morning, the same story repeated. Her eyes opened, and it felt like she hadn't slept at all. Her body ached. Her thoughts were cloudy. Her coffee barely touched the fog in her head. And each day she found herself sitting on the edge of her bed, wondering if this constant tiredness, was just part of growing old. Her doctor told her she was fine. Her labs looked okay. "You're just aging," he said. But Margaret didn't believe that, not deep down. Something in her knew this wasn't just aging. This was something out of balance. So she started to listen, not to the outside world, but to herself, to her body, to the quiet messages it had been sending her. And she began making changes, not big ones, not all at once, but small, thoughtful shifts. She moved her dinner an hour earlier and cut the sugar out completely. No more sweet treats after 7 p.m. She started drinking a full glass of water the moment she woke up, before coffee, before anything. She began sitting by her living room window each morning, letting the sun spill across her face for 20 quiet minutes. She found an old yoga DVD and started doing 5-minute stretches in her slippers. Not because she wanted to get fit, but because her body needed to move. And at night, instead of scrolling through the news or watching crime shows, she began writing 3 small things she was grateful for. Within a week, she noticed something subtle. Her mornings weren't as heavy. Her breath came a little easier. By the 3rd week, she had stopped waking up at 3 a.m. By the 5th week, her children were telling her, "You look younger," and she felt it, not just in her skin or her posture, but in her soul. She had energy again. She started tending to her little backyard garden, reading full books again, laughing more, living more. And when I asked her what changed most, she smiled and said something I'll never forget. "I stopped treating sleep like a transaction. I started treating it like a relationship." Because that's what it is. Sleep isn't something you demand from your body. It's something you build with your body, with trust, with rhythm, with care. And if Margaret, at 72, exhausted, unsure, overlooked, could rebuild that relationship, so can you. You're not stuck. You're not finished. You're not too old or too broken. You just haven't been given the right rhythm yet. But that rhythm is waiting for you, and every small choice you make, every glass of water, every breath of sunlight, every quiet night of gratitude brings you closer to the version of yourself that feels whole again. Margaret didn't find a secret formula. She just listened. And so can you.
Section 7. Final takeaway. You deserve rest that heals. Here's what I hope you take from all of this. You are not broken. You are not lazy. And you are not imagining it. If you're waking up every morning feeling tired, disconnected, or defeated, it doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you've aged out of joy or peace or energy. It means your body is trying to tell you something. It's whispering in aches, in fog, in heaviness that it needs attention. Not punishment, not pills, just presence. You see, real rest isn't just physical. It's emotional, it's spiritual. It's permission to stop running, to stop proving, to stop pretending that being tired is just something you're supposed to push through. Because you're not a machine. You are a living, breathing, feeling being. And you deserve to feel whole, not just horizontal. Rest is not a reward for hard work. It's not something you earn after checking all the boxes. It is your birthright. It is part of your design. And if you've been denied it by the stress of life, by medication, by trauma, by years of self-neglect, then let this moment be the beginning of something new. Not dramatic, not flashy, just quiet, steady, real. Maybe tonight you'll dim the lights an hour earlier. Maybe tomorrow you'll sip your water before your coffee. Maybe this weekend you'll step outside and just feel the warmth of the sun on your face. These small acts, they matter. They say to your body, "I'm here, I'm listening now." And over time, the rhythm begins to return. Your breath deepens, your mornings soften, your shoulders relax. You remember what it's like to feel rested, not just for a few hours, but all the way down to your bones. Because sleep isn't just sleep. It's healing. It's memory. It's regeneration. It's the body's sacred pause between who you've been and who you're still becoming. And no matter your age, whether you're 60, 70, or 92, you are still becoming. There is still light to rise into, still moments to feel alive for, still mornings to greet with open eyes, clear breath, and the quiet confidence that comes from knowing this day, this one right here, belongs to me. So give yourself permission to rest deeply, to live gently, to rise fully. because you're not past your prime. You're in it. And the best is not behind you. The best is waiting just on the other side of a good night's sleep. And if you've made it this far, thank you. Thank you for giving your mind the space to learn and your heart the space to breathe. If anything in this video spoke to you, if it felt like I was talking about your mornings, your fatigue, your hope, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below. Tell me where you're watching from or share one change you're going to try this week. Let's start a gentle conversation in the comments, because you're not alone on this journey. And if you found peace here, if you felt seen or understood or just a little bit more hopeful than you did before, consider subscribing to the channel. This is more than just videos. This is a quiet movement of people choosing to age with strength, grace, and intention. Until next time, take a deep breath, dim the lights, and give yourself permission to rest. Because your story isn't over. It's just entering a gentler, wiser, more beautiful chapter. This is Ageless Living Secret.